Get ready to ride along the broken road and strive to survive in a world that comes— oh Jesus Christ, no. Greetings everyone, Pat Curley here from the Republic of Players, and today we'll be looking at the post-apocalyptic world of Days Gone. It's an open world third-person shooter with RPG-like elements. The story of Days Gone is an engaging one that will keep you wanting to know what happens next. You play as the sarcastic Deacon St, and can we just appreciate how cool that name is? It's bloody lit! He is a former biker gang member before the outbreak of freakers took hold of the world. The narrative mainly takes place 2 years after the infection that has turned people feral, with brief glimpses into the past before the world went to hell. I had a few minor issues with the story. Nitpicks such as why does nobody use anything other than motorcycles, and while there are a handful of offhanded comments that give us reasons as to why, the fact that no one uses them and you never see any moving just feels odd. On the plot side, at one point it seemed like they were setting up the story to go in a certain direction with a group known as the Rippers, yet it doesn't follow it up and seemed like a rather pointless story thread in the overall arc of things. The campaign is lengthy, with a cast of characters that are portrayed exceptionally well. The performances given in this game are amazing, especially by Sam Witwer, who plays the main protagonist. The emotions he expresses through the motion cap is phenomenal. Deacon as a character is fantastic. He goes through quite a lot in the game, from coming to acceptance of loss, learning to accept others apart from his best bud Boozer, unleashing his rage upon those that try and take what little he has left in the world. But most importantly is the hope that he has that the world can be better. That, and how could you not love a character who has such a good way of handling dogs? That's cute. Oregon is the area in which you explore. One thing I felt this game did insanely good was the world around you. The tagline they used was, "This world comes for you." And those words ring true as you are attacked by everything that can attack you. From freakers, other people, bears and crows. However, that isn't the truly impressive thing the game manages to pull off. Days Gone has done something that most other stories similar to it never managed to do for me. And it is its immersion. You will see a pack of wolves hunt down deer, freakers attack bears or eat their own. Everything reacts to each other, creating a world that feels alive and functions. Other small things such as each camp you visit, you earn separate credits for each one, and that makes them feel more unique. This world feels all the more real compared to most of its open world and post-apocalyptic zombie-like world competition. It honestly left me feeling unsettled at points watching the world go on without my interaction. It was an unexpected but very welcome surprise. There are small things that make the world feel slightly fake, such as the overabundance of petrol you can find lying about, but the immersion this game provides is on another level. However, I'm going to have to contradict myself on the one thing that shatters the immense immersion this game provides: the multitude of glitches. Days Gone is littered with glitches, from enemies getting caught in loops, objects and foes simply appearing out of nowhere, decapitated heads stay in the air, rendering issues, and the frame rate dropping quite a bit just took me out of what was going on around me. The sad thing is that it's so common of an occurrence, hindering a game that could truly suck one into the world. While it's not excusable for a game like this to be this buggy, the patches that have been coming out at a fast pace have made the game run much smoother and makes it all the more enjoyable to play. However, it's still a good bit off before it becomes a polished game. The gameplay also suffers from the glitches in some aspects, especially when the frame rate drops on the motorcycle. It really kills all momentum you gain, and it was so bad at points it would freeze for a handful of seconds. There are also horrendous loading times. Come on, Hurry the f—
5 hours later.
When everything is running swimmingly, driving the bike is quite satisfying. The weight and feel that is delivered while roaming around is fantastic. Your bike can be improved by adding new parts that actually make a difference, giving a new feel to the control of the bike every time you upgrade it. Though you do have to look after the two-wheeled vehicle. Though with the ludicrous amount of fuel you can find, you will never find yourself stranded with your bike pushing it towards the next source of fuel. It takes away a great deal of tension that the game could have had, though it might be different on the hardest difficulty. I wouldn't know, I only went normal, because I'm a wuss. The third person shooter mechanics are a bit of a mixed bag in my opinion. Even when I had gotten the hang of it, I still never felt like I was fully in control of the weapons I was using. Apart from that unusual feeling, it functioned rather well, with each gun having a different vibe to it, and of course, this game has one of my favourite weapons, period.
A Tommy gun!
The combat in the game is simplistic, with you being able to find and craft certain objects as weapons to batter your foes. The brutality of this game adds to the atmosphere, and silent takedowns can be deadly to watch unfold. There are 2 upgrade systems in the game for Deacon. You have Neuro injectors scattered around the map that can increase your focus, stamina, or your maximum health. You then have the level system that allows you to unlock certain skills that relate to melee, guns, and your survival instincts. There are a good handful of skills that you will find useful, with some allowing you to carry more supplies, have more penetration with your bullets, or being able to stealth kill bigger foes. It has a steady progression of you getting stronger. Never did I feel overpowered until near the end of the game, when I figured out what way I wanted to approach missions, along with getting better gear and maxing out everything. The game itself starts at a very slow pace, and you'll find yourself mainly facing the common freaker and animals for a really good chunk of time. However, when hordes become more commonplace and all the new enemy types make their way into the story, the game improves drastically. I believe that the reveals for new freakers could have been spread out and revealed more evenly, giving the game a better pace gameplay wise, as the game really does improve after a good few hours of playing it. The freakers themselves are very interesting in the way they appear, concepts used that you never really see in zombie-like films or games. You have newts, which are infected kids, something completely new to me and something I found seriously uncomfortable fighting against to begin with. Then you have the super soldier of the freakers, the Reacher, a combination of most freakers put together. The animal kingdom isn't safe either, from facing an infected bear or a flock of crows. It's just not something you see in this sort of story, and I tip my imaginary hat to Bend Studio. They did a great job. Now, one thing Bend Studio nailed on the head would be the preposterous detail they ingrained in the world created. It's absurd how downright gorgeous this game looks, from the lovingly crafted character models to the vast open world you travel. One of my favourite things they added was the weather system. From when it starts snowing, it will paint the land white along with Deacon. If there's heavy rain, large puddles will appear on the road that were not there to begin with. The detail is through the roof for this game, and this harkens back to the immersion I was talking about earlier. The world truly feels alive, unlike any other open world game I've played, leaving quite the strong impression due to never having seen something like this. But as I've also said, glitches can take you out of it quite easily, especially when the game becomes a blob of colours and can barely render anything. I found the music throughout the game to mainly have a somber tone, reflecting the atmosphere the game is trying to achieve, though there are a handful of emotional vocal pieces that really stand out and mixes things up ever so slightly. You do have music that will create tension, such as when you're fighting an infected bear, or my favourite, when the eerie music starts playing when a horde is nearby, and you have no idea when you could be jumped or run into thousands of highly murderous freakers that want to eat you out. Overall, Days Gone is a fantastic game with a solid foundation built to be worked upon for future installments. With amazing performances throughout the story, fun motorcycle riding, incredible horde fights, and an unbelievable sense of atmosphere, the game has the possibility of being Game of the Year. But that's only when the game is polished. As of right now, the glitches are taking away from the game that is on the cusp of excellence. So, I would recommend waiting for this game to get fixed up before purchasing, because as things stand now, with its many glitches, I cannot recommend the game at full price with the sheer number of bugs present. If you are looking for games similar to Days Gone, I would recommend Uncharted 4 Thief's End and Lost Legacy, as well as The Last of Us. If you enjoyed this little review, feel free to hit that subscribe button and keep up to date with the wide variety of content we create. From reviews, first looks, couch opt, and our weekly podcast. And while you're at it, why not check us on social media outlets to stay informed on what's happening? And be sure to ride on over to our Facebook community where we discuss anything gaming. Until next time, have a good one.